I think I'm on Terry the Rapman's second album, second official album. Yeah, I'm on a remix of a record there. I also did some on the background vocals for him as well, and all that. So I was doing music in university. It was really nice. I have to give shout out to people like Tosin Bucknor. I had a manager. My classmates in school was actually my manager. Shout out to G Days in Canada now. And he was my manager. So he would go and stand in front of Top Radio every day, waiting for Tosin Bucknor and hand her my CD. And Tosin Bucknor, God rest her soul, she's an amazing person. She was playing my records on air, Tony Doe as well. He was at the then Lagos Continental. He was playing my records on air. So I had some pretty nice songs. I was getting to meet people. I would leave school. I was schooling in Ilorin. Shout out to my people in Tanke, I would leave Ilorin, I'll come to Lagos, try and hustle and all that. And that's when I met a lot of people. I met MI for the first time I think in 2008. Yeah. And he was trying to sell me Jesse Jack's beat for about 28,000 naira back then. He would deny this story, but it's true,
For real?
Yeah. So there's been a lot of history. This was me really trying to understand what it takes to be an artist. And when I did decide to maybe discontinue being an artist, I then became like a full-on studio rat, meeting up with producers, meeting up with other artists. And this is when I started to, there's nothing like, there's always the theory of things, right? You could talk about things, and there's the practical aspect of things, getting your hands dirty, right? And the person who has gotten his hands dirty and been on the streets and been in the studios always has more experience than the textbook teacher.
True.
Would always have more experience because there's always context to apply. There's always nuances to apply and all that. And I guess that's what happened to me when, I morphed from being just a hip hop artist to really being a student of the game and understanding what it takes to be an artist. I used to go to a lot of studios, hang around a lot of people, a lot of artists. So mostly hip hop artists at first. So Mode 9 was really nice to me. Terry the Rapman. I actually joined Terry the Rapman's crew. So I was one of his sidekicks, and that gave me access to a lot of other people, a lot of shows and all that.
Insight into what goes on.
A lot of people. I met a lot of people. And so I think I had to make a decision. There was a point I had to make a decision. I remember Tito Simons, shout out to Tito Simons, the rapper. He had put his mixtape. I can't remember the name. I think it's called The Freshness or something. He had put it in the Sound City magazine. This was in Sound City Blast or Sound City Blast. I had gotten a feature in the magazine already as one of the next to blow. It was already I think it was me, some other people I had. I should have brought out this thing so I could show you.
I can't believe what you're saying. This thing. You were actually an artist, like next to blow, next rated. That's next rated.
Yeah, facts. So I think our set was them Scales, Ice Prince. It was that set of people, right? We were all in that because we all knew each other. Hey, what's up, man? And all that. We're all going to Coco Lounge, Monday night freestyling. But they were in the forefront. I was like in the back, at back because I wasn't, I was just climbing my way on. I was trying to get a deal with Night Owl. So I was always mailing them my songs. Shout out to Temi Gomez. He has some of my songs. So if you want to get it, it's with Temi Gomez right now. I was trying to get some of my stuff there, I was always hitting him up like, man, I really need a deal, and all that. So I tried getting my stuff in Sound City Blast. They were ready to push my mixtape with their magazine, their next edition. But I think I needed about maybe close to 200K or something to do the printing, the packing, and everything, right? And I looked for that money. Mind you, this is me. I have no job. I'm out of school, right? I'm a recording engineer in my friend's studio. So I've moved away from my studio because we're done. The guys had to go to school. One guy had to travel. So we ended that studio. We had like a 5-year run, right? That's where I recorded my mixtape. So I'm a recording engineer in my friend's place. I take vocals down and I arrange them for the guys to come and mix and master. That's literally my job. And I'm also working at the cyber cafe. I earn 10,000 naira a month. Right?
in all that time.
Yeah, this is 2009. This is just 11 years ago. So I'm a cyber, and every experience is a great experience. We need to understand these things. Whatever you're going through, it's not the destination. That's not the important thing. It's the journey. Thing is, it was actually music that made me make the switch, right? And I'll tell you why. So I started releasing and putting out a lot of music, right? But the blogs, remember, this is when blogs were very important. If your blogs put out your music, you get a lot of reach. You get a lot of reach, people know you. You can start to build from there. So I wasn't getting the reach because the blogs, shout out to Ovie, shout out to Demola, those are my buddies, but I was mailing them my songs and they weren't putting it up.
I can understand.
And back then you needed that exclusive from not just UK.com. You needed it. I know people whose music were not even on the platform, who were taking the tag and telling their producers to put the tag on their songs and release it. So that it gave them some sort of credibility. So I mailed them a couple of times, and Ovia and Demola, of course, they're my buddies now.
I mail them sometimes too. They don't answer me. I mail them sometimes too. They don't answer me too. So
yeah, so so they weren't putting it up. Durella, what up, Durella? OG.
Durella.
I think Durella is in the building. I think so.
Durella, Kilowa, Kiribolowa, Imbo. Shout out to Durella.
And so I said, okay, if these guys are not going to put up my music, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create my own blog and put up my music. It's that simple now, right?
That's a textbook Osagie. Radical.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, if these guys are not going to blog my music, I'll create my own platform and put my music up so people can download it. It's not that hard now. And so that's what I did. So I created a platform called Rhymesville, right? And then I put up my stuff and I put up my music and people were downloading my music. Then I also met a lot of other people who couldn't get their music on popular platforms. It wasn't only not just okay, there were a lot of other 360 knobs, and the rest, right? And some of them showed me love, to be very honest. I think Jagoda showed me love, some other guys showed me love. And I met other people who couldn't put their music up on popular platforms and they sent me their music. So I kind of just morphed into musician stroke music blogger because I started putting up people's music. And I said, okay, I'm not going to put up music every day. I also have to write about other things. So let me write about 10 artists to watch out for, 10 great albums to listen to. They write about some pop stuff. During this period, I also was working at Echo FM as a radio OAP. I was working with Dr. Flavor. Do you remember Dr. Flavor?
I know Flavor very well. Dr. Flavor. Yeah.
So we had a show on Wednesday and we had a show on Friday. We had a 30-minute show on Friday. We had a 1-hour show on Wednesday. So I was his sidekick. So I'll go get all the news, get the pop culture news, and I'll read everything on the radio. So I was still an artist, and I think it was there I met Dami Crane for the first time. I blogged Dami Crane's first ever song ever. I was one that put Dami Crane's first, and I think that's where I met Dami Crane, for the first time, which was really amazing because he came to the studio, and I remember back then he used to introduce himself as Sauce Kid's cousin. I don't know if you ever introduced himself like that to you. That was like his main thing. That was his claim to fame. Hey man, I'm Sauce Kid's cousin. So it was really funny. And so there's no stories. So of course at this point, my dad thought I was crazy. My mom didn't even know what I was doing, right? Nobody, they didn't know what I was doing. They were like, what's this guy? I used to wake up early in the morning and leave the house. And I'm sure they were just praying for me that, see, God, just take over. Because I was the first son. Do you know the amount of pressure? My dad wanted me to be a civil engineer. I ended up hustling, studying mathematics.
Wow.
So I was doing that. And I think the biggest success we had was selling MI's album, MI2. That is one of the most, I think Burna's Boys album was also very anticipated. This last album, African Giant, I saw a lot of people the day before really, anticipating it. But I think the most anticipated album in Nigeria is MI's MI2 album. The night before that album, the whole of Nigeria on Twitter was awake, waiting for that album. Now,
it was only Twitter at that time and blogs.
Yeah,
that's all.
yeah. And at this time, Not Just Think was the biggest music platform. They were going to sell the album. So they put like a countdown. It was 6 hours to release the album, right? And my guy Faz had hit up MI and said, we want to sell the album as well. Can we go ahead? And M was like, okay, you guys can go ahead. So Faz calls me from the UK and says, M has told us we can sell the album. But there's a problem. We don't have the album. So we're waiting from the album from Chalk City to give us the album to sell. Not Just Like it has a 6 hour counter, or the counter is like, I'm like, how am I going to sell this album if I don't have the album yet? Not Just Like is going to beat us to the album. And we're trying to be like big competitors, right? So you know what I did? I just went to Alaba. Alaba already had the album.
Joker!
And guess what? Yes.
Joker!
And I went to Alaba.
You pulled that Joker.
Album. I bought the album for 45 naira. You know
Jesus
how much they were selling
Christ.
CDs now?
Yeah,
they were selling CDs for 45 naira. When you get to town, they were selling it for 150.
You pulled the streets for them.
I bought that thing for 45 bucks. I went back home, opened my laptop, ripped it at 32 kbps, 320 kbps, like the highest one, so we get the best quality. I sent it to my boy. Fazilion is in the building. We made history. He's there. We did it together. Faz, I love you, bro. This is 10 years ago. This is exactly 10 years ago. And I sent it to Faz and said, Faz, we got the album. And we just put the album on the website. Boom! We said MI2. You guys can buy it here. And they took off the timer immediately. They started panicking. But it was a big deal for us, you know. And from there, we kind of just built the relationship. I started working closely with Steve Abaiko at this time. He used to give me handouts a lot. He used to give me handouts a lot, man. Like, hey, take this, take it. Because I was scruffy. I used to wear one faded jeans. You know when Jagrin said only one red shoe? I had a red shoe too, and it was the only red shoe.
Wow.
You know?
Really?
So he used to give me like a lot of handouts and help me out and all that. And it was really amazing for me. And so there's a guy called Thiago Ziem. He used to work at the Nets. So he was leaving to go to get a job in Abuja. Thiago Ziem hits up a guy called Ayomide Tayo. Now, I've known Ayomide Tayo on Facebook. And I met him once or twice at Dr. G's Club Rockaway. No, Steve, I didn't trek to Alaba. Stop that shit. You know, and we're good. So I was working, you know, there's a guy called Thiago Ziem. He was leaving the net. He was the chief correspondent and he was heading off to Abuja to get a new gig. He was working for a guy called Ayeni the Great, right? At the Net NG. I'm like, okay, cool. I know the Net NG.
Go ahead. Go ahead with us.
So Thiago Ziem is looking. So Thiago Ziem hits up a guy called Ayomide Tayo. Tells Ayomide Tayo they need a content uploader at Nets, right? Tayo hits me in the DM. I wish I could share the DM with you. And says, hey, Osags, they need a content uploader at Net. Oh, is this something you want to do? I'm like, yeah, because I'm already blogging and doing some stuff already. Yeah, sure. I'll do it. And so I met up with Ayeni at TA's Lounge. Remember TA's Lounge?
I remember TA's Lounge.
Yeah. So we met up there. This is when Ayeni was still rocking suits. Not the white now. He was still rocking suits. He hires me, you know, and I get the gig. And the gig is 20K per month, which is a good gig. 20,000 naira a month. Yeah, so I stopped working at the cafe. I think I got fired because I was using the internet to do my personal work, you know, some crazy stuff, you know. So this is start of 2011 right now, right? I've moved into Net. Then I tell Steve, I say, oh, Steve, man, I got a job with Ayeni now. I'm now like, you know, a content uploader there. And Steve is like, oh, he calls Ayeni. Apparently he's Ayeni's friend. So he picks up the phone and says, Ayeni, I'm going to hire this guy too because this guy is hardworking, right? And so he hires me, and Ayeni is like, okay, if he can work for you at the label, and if he can be, you know, a content uploader at my place, it's fine.
It's fine.
So Steve says, okay, you're going to be my road manager at my place.
Wow.
You can do a bit of A&R, but you're going to be my road manager. So you're going to work with Overdose. You're going to work with. We're going to sign a guy now. His name is Praise. We're going to sign him up. Also, etc. is just about leaving, but I need you to push his albums. So I start doing all that. He gives me 35K. So I'm good with 35K with Steve at the Extreme. I'm good with 20 at. So this is me
big boy.
Writing. Yeah, I'm a big boy.
Starting from 10K, starting from Legady's Benz. You're now moving up to, you know, go ahead. No, go ahead. So things are looking good. You know, now I can pay the light bill at my house.
I can buy some groceries going back home, so my parents don't think I'm that crazy.